To discuss about the multicast RSVP resource reservation protocol and RTP real-time protocol. So what is multicast? Multicast is nothing but ability to send single packet to the multiple destination. Whomsoever require, they may only receive the thing. So unicast in the sense I am the transmitter, whoever which is connected to this network can be accessed. That is nothing but unicast. Multicast in the sense I am the transmitter, whoever it is connected and whoever it is registered for that particular program can able to receive the informations. That is nothing but the multicast. So ability to send the single packet to the multiple destination. So the application that requires the multicast including teleconferencing, email multicast, remote learning and group communications. The traditional protocols like TCP or UDP provides unicast transmission. The provision for the multicast with unicast services requires delivery of the replicated unicast packets to each recipient. To avoid sending the multiple unicast copies, thereby increasing the network use and multicast transport services are required. With IP multicast, each data source sends the packet to the multicast address and the network forward the copy of packet to each group of the host. So multicast routing protocols provides the mechanism that enables the router to propagate the multicast datagrams in order to minimize the number of excess copies transmitted to any particular subnetwork which is not required. So in addition that they must be flexible enough to allow the participants to join and leave the system without affecting the others, as like a Zoom wherever, or Zoom or Google Meet, whatever it may be. So whomsoever requires that particular information, they may join, they may leave. It is not that a one man transmission system. So the two important multicast routing protocols are state and distance vector multicast. They are extension from the corresponding unicast routing algorithms. In the link state protocol, such as open shortest path first, that is OSPF, is used. Each router monitors the state of its adjacent links and sends this information to all other routers whenever the state changes. The metric may be a reliability, delay, cost, and other things. Each router has the picture of the entire network. If A wants to multicast the group of users, it needs to identify the subset of routers. This is accomplished by adding the identification of the groups that have the members on the particular link on the state of the link. Then it computes the shortest distance tree routed at A and spanning the subset of the routers based upon the link state matrix. Then the multicast is then performed on the shortest distance. In the distance vector multicast protocol, each router maintains the routing table with the entries of the destination, cost and the next nodes, indicating that each destination on the least cost to reach the and next node can be shortest path to it. For each destination that it can reach the node and sends the destination cost directly connected to the neighbors, informing that the cost of the reaching destination can be provided by the neighbor for the shorter path of the distance. To support the multicasting, each node will have the direct connectivity of the neighbors. The information can be included in the routing table and each router then knows the across which links it should form the multicast packet for each group. To avoid sending the duplicate multicast packets when multiple routers are connected to the router, or it may be the link. So the identification. So normally what we used to say that means we have a multicast in the sense only the particular subscriber can receive the signal. Even if you see that in cable TV access system, so if the connections are subscribed by the various among people, even in the different criteria also can access the various set of channels. But if you go for the set of box system, whomsoever subscribing for the particular channel, they can be accessible. That is nothing but the multicast system. So next one is RSVP, is nothing but resource reservation protocol. So this is attempt to provide the guarantee quality of services for the heterogeneous receivers across the internet with the multi-point communication, multi-point to multi-point communication. So RSVP, which has the admission control and policy control modules. Admission control determines the sufficient resources to be satisfy the quality of services, and the policy control determines if the user has the administrative permission for the resource reservation protocol. So we have two messages. One is nothing but path and reserve. So path, each data source send a path message which contains flow of specification for the to the destination multicast address. When the router receives the path message, it records and relevant informations like IP multicast address, specification address, source identification, etc. Then the not only the receivers informed for the same operation specifications, but both intermediate nodes also obtain the path state informations. Whenever the RSV message is reserved for that particular route, then that the multiple receiver may send the reserve reservation towards the same data source. So reserve RSVP scales the accommodates the heterogeneous resource requirements. So three kinds of reservation styles has been defined. One is fixed filter, wildcard filter, shared explicit filter. Fixed filter allows the explicit sender selection, and such as video conferencing or the video streams, there we are using this fixed filter. Wildcard selections is under the explicit senders, like a reservation made only for this spender explicitly, and then shared reservation uses the multiple centers, and wildcard allows the wildcard centers with the shared reservation centers. Next one is RTP, where so RTP is an end-to-end protocol transport of the real data. And it is used in conjunction with the RSVP. So RTP is a multi-party conferencing. Wherever the multi-party conferencing, there it is supported by the operations. So RTP does not define any kind of quality services, which it does not provide any reordering or retransmission of the loss of packets. However, it provides the sequence number that enables the application using the RTP initiate steps. So in addition to the base RTP specification, the number of companion documents like provides the encapsulation for the various continuous media formats, MPEG, JPEG. These are all the provided by the RTP. Next one is a integrated management architecture for IP based network. So here we are ensuring the profitability from the multimedia services, which requires the comprehensive service management architecture, which enables the service provider to plan carefully, provide quickly, and operate efficiently, and generate the bill accurately for the services utilized by the user. So here the backbone technology is based upon the IP networking. Core network or edge network or access subnetworks are used. So here we are using the backbone technology as a multi-protocol label switching, MPLS. So here the core and edge label switches are used as a routers. MPLS networks integrates the IP routing protocol, which allows the efficient support of services such as IP multicast, IP class of services, and IP VPNs. The customer sites are interconnected with the edge network, which is typically owned and controlled by the service provider. The extended function includes like service restoration, traffic engineering, data collection, service activations, and network planning. So we will discuss elaborately about the FCAP function. What is FCAP? Is nothing but it is a IP based network. FCAP is nothing but integrated management of the various types of the network. It refers to the open system interconnections. It has the 5 functional areas. What are the 5 functional areas in the sense? Which as we talk about the fault management. C means configuration management. A means it is accounts and billing management. P is the performance management, and S is nothing but security management. These nothing but FCAPs. So FCAPs will provide the various interconnections of the IP based network. So capacity planning provides the long-term view of the network demands and requirements. It computes the network element growth rates and generates the long-term capacity on based upon the expansion plan. The network administrator who wants to study the typically carries out the capacity of the planning function in order to determine the required capacity of the optimal equipment locations, forecast, everything will coming under this one. Data collection function collects and forward the data on regular basis of the appropriate module. Alarm or related fault statistics which is forward from the fault modules which will provide the diagnostic capabilities. Traffic statistics and traffic analysis will be carried out in the various planning modules. Okay, so we'll see in the next class.